Welcome back to the channel. If you're here, you already know you're wired differently. You've never needed permission to exist on your own terms, and you've learned to trust the voice inside that everyone else seems to ignore. But here's what most Sigma females won't admit sometimes, that radical self-reliance becomes a blind spot. You're so used to trusting only yourself that you miss the signals being sent from something larger, call it the universe, your higher self, or simply the intelligence beneath your conscious mind. Today we're examining 5 spiritual signs that appear specifically when you're at a crossroads. These aren't mystical feel-good concepts. They're pattern recognition at the deepest level, and dismissing them means missing crucial inflection points in your evolution. Sign 1. Synchronicities arranged in sequences. Everyone experiences coincidences. You do not? When synchronicities appear in your life, they arrive in clusters with unmistakable patterns. 3 conversations about the same topic within 2 days. The same symbolic image appearing across completely unrelated contexts. Numbers that follow you like breadcrumbs: 111 when you're contemplating a beginning, 444 when you're doubting your foundation. Here's what makes this different for you. Most people seek external validation constantly. You don't? Which means when the universe needs to communicate with you, it can't rely on your social circle or authority figures to deliver the message. The synchronicities are your validation system. The sequence matters more than the individual incident. One repeated number is interesting. The same number appearing on a license plate, then a receipt, then a timestamp on an email you've been avoiding. That's a pattern demanding your attention. What actually works? Stop treating this like a curiosity. Open a note on your phone titled Patterns. When something strikes you as too aligned to be random, record, date, what happened, what you were wrestling with internally. Within 3 weeks, you'll see the architecture of how you're being guided. The patterns reveal themselves to people who document them. The moment you start tracking, your awareness sharpens. You'll notice synchronicities appearing around decisions before you've consciously realized you're making them. That's not magic, that's your subconscious processing information faster than your conscious mind, then flagging it for your attention. If you're seeing repeating signs right now, it means you're stalling on something your deeper intelligence already knows you need to do. Sign 2, the compulsive need to disappear. This isn't your standard introvert recharge. This is different. You feel an almost physical pull to extract yourself from everything: people, plans, digital noise, the entire apparatus of your daily life. It's not depression. It's not burnout. It's something more primal, your system demanding a complete reset. Surface-level interactions become intolerable. Small talk feels like sandpaper on your nervous system. You cancel commitments not because you're flaking, but because showing up feels like a violation of something sacred happening inside you. Why this happens to you specifically? Sigma females operate at high levels of autonomy and internal processing. You don't follow external scripts, which means you're constantly generating your own path. That requires immense energy. Periodically, your entire operating system needs to defragment. This withdrawal precedes transformation. You're not running away, you're molting. The version of yourself you've been inhabiting has reached its limit, and the next version cannot emerge while you're still performing the old one for an audience. The trap: guilt. Society has trained you to believe that withdrawal equals dysfunction. It doesn't. Every spiritual tradition recognizes isolation as sacred preparation. Jesus in the desert. Buddha under the tree. Your instinct to disappear is ancient wisdom, not personal weakness. What you actually need to do. Stop justifying it to people. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your evolution. Create one non-negotiable hour of complete silence daily. No phone, no music, no input. Just you and the uncomfortable space where transformation happens. The insights that come during these withdrawals aren't gentle suggestions. They're structural downloads about who you're becoming. Write them down immediately. They dissolve like dreams if you don't. If you're feeling this pull right now, stop resisting it. The discomfort of withdrawal is nothing compared to the suffocation of staying in an identity you've outgrown. Sign 3, sudden demolitions that look like disasters. A relationship ends abruptly. A job evaporates. A plan you invested months in collapses overnight. For someone who rarely gives her trust, these losses cut deeper than most people understand. But here's the pattern you need to recognize: these endings only appear sudden. If you're honest with yourself, there were signals you ignored. Small misalignments you rationalized. Moments where your gut said this isn't right, but your loyalty or stubbornness overrode the warning. The universe doesn't remove things randomly, it removes what you refuse to release yourself. Why this targets Sigma females? You're selective about commitments, which makes you exceptionally loyal once you've chosen. That loyalty becomes a prison when you've outgrown the situation but won't admit it. The universe essentially forces the issue, demolishing what you won't voluntarily leave. The spiritual mechanics: you had a contract with that person or situation, specific lessons to extract. Once completed, the contract expires. The ending isn't punishment. It's graduation, disguised as loss. The pattern to watch for. Notice what appears immediately after these demolitions. New opportunities don't wait politely. They arrive fast, often before you've finished processing the loss. That's because the space needed to be cleared first. You couldn't access what's coming while still clutching what was leaving. How to navigate this? Feel the loss completely. Spiritual growth isn't emotional bypassing. Grieve, rage, mourn, these are chemicals your system needs to release. But while you're feeling it, ask, what did this protect me from? What is now possible? The answer usually appears within 6 weeks. And when it does, you'll understand that the demolition was surgical, not chaotic. If something is ending in your life right now, especially something you're desperately trying to save, consider that the universe might know something you don't. Sometimes the most loving thing that can happen is an ending you didn't choose. Sign 4, your perception upgrades without permission. Your intuition suddenly operates at a different frequency. You know things you shouldn't know. You sense shifts in people before they speak. Dreams deliver information that proves accurate. Your body reads energy like a barometer reads pressure. This isn't gradual, it's a threshold crossing. 1 week you're normal, the next week you're picking up transmissions from people's unspoken thoughts. Why you, Sigma females, are already operating with heightened internal awareness. You've spent years trusting your own judgment over external authority, which has sharpened your pattern recognition. When your intuition upgrades, it's because you're being prepared for territory with no existing maps. The challenge: analytical minds struggle with non-linear knowing. You value logic, and suddenly you're receiving information that arrives fully formed without the supporting evidence chain. This creates internal friction. What's actually happening? Your consciousness is expanding its bandwidth. You're accessing information that exists outside the narrow frequency most people operate on. Some call this psychic ability. More accurately, it's pattern recognition processing at quantum speed, your subconscious detecting microsignals and delivering conclusions instantly. The liability, without boundaries, you become a sponge for other people's emotional weather. You'll absorb anxiety, sadness, or chaos from environments and mistake it for your own. This drains you rapidly. Non-negotiable practices: daily grounding, 30 seconds of feeling your feet on the ground, imagining roots extending into earth. This isn't hippie nonsense, it's a neurological reset that tells your nervous system where you end and others begin. Test your hits. Keep a locked note documenting intuitive hunches before they're confirmed. I sense X will happen. Then record outcomes. You'll discover your intuition has a specific language: images, body sensations, sudden knowing. Learn your native tongue. Differentiate signal from noise. True intuition feels calm and certain, even when delivering uncomfortable information. Fear feels urgent and catastrophic. One is wisdom, the other is the ego protecting itself. If your intuition has suddenly intensified, you're not losing your mind. You're being upgraded because you're about to need higher level perception for what's coming. Sign 5, the relentless knowing you haven't started yet. Underneath everything, the routines, the accomplishments, the life you've built, there's a persistent hum. This isn't it yet. It's not dissatisfaction. Your life might be objectively good. It's something deeper, the bone-level certainty that you're in preparation mode for a mission that hasn't been disclosed yet. You're training for something you can't see. You learn skills that seem random. You develop capacities that don't fit your current life. You feel yourself being shaped by experiences that won't make sense until later. It's maddening because you can't force the reveal. Why Sigma females feel this acutely? You're not built for conventional templates. You don't measure success by traditional metrics, and you don't derive identity from external roles. That means when you feel called to something undefined, there's no established path to follow. You're mapping territory that doesn't exist yet. This knowing is your soul's memory of the assignment you came here to complete. It's not ego, it's recognition. The torture, the timeline isn't yours to control. You feel the call but can't see the blueprint. This creates anxiety: am I wasting time? Should I be doing something different? What if I miss it? The actual truth, this in-between phase, the preparation without clarity, is where you become the person capable of executing the mission. You're not ready yet. That's why the details are obscured. If you saw the full picture now, you'd either panic or attempt it prematurely. Both would fail. What serves you now? Follow resonance ruthlessly. When something pulls you strongly, move toward it. Even if it seems irrelevant. Your subconscious is assembling puzzle pieces, trust the process. Get surgical about your why. Even without knowing the what, you can clarify the values driving you. Impact. Truth. Freedom. Creation. Your why is the compass when the path disappears. Release the outcome attachment. Your purpose might arrive packaged completely differently than you imagine. Stay open to how it wants to emerge, not how you think it should look. If you feel this restless certainty right now, you're not broken. You're being prepared. Every experience is building capacity. Nothing is wasted. Here's what these 5 signs share: they all require you to trust something you cannot see, measure, or control. For a Sigma female, someone who's built an entire identity on self-reliance and empirical evidence, this is the final examination. Can you trust the intelligence operating beneath your conscious awareness? Can you follow signals that don't arrive with instruction manuals? Can you honor what you know without needing external confirmation? These signs aren't suggestions. They're inflection points. Ignore them and you'll still survive. You're too resilient to crumble. But you'll remain in the waiting room of your own life, circling the thing you're meant to become without ever actually transforming into it. Which sign is active in your life right now? Comment below, not for me, but to mark the moment when you stopped dismissing what you've been noticing. If this landed, subscribe. Until then, trust your aperture is widening for a reason.